On behalf of everybody, I want to express our gratitude to Michael, the chef.
This project, I would like to invite everybody to come to Eureka and look at this boat, because this is a very special boat. In 1958, 4 guys sailed this little 30-foot catch all the way to Honolulu. In all the storms and everything, broken masts and leaky fuel tanks and so forth. That's pretty brave. 4 guys in a little bitty boat. And they're out there, and they're doing a press conference in Honolulu. They're going to go stop the bombing and the atmospheric nuclear testing. Needless to say, every time they took off out of Honolulu, the Coast Guard caught them, boarded them, arrested them, towed the boat back to Honolulu. There's protests going on outside the courthouse, and they're fighting in court. So this whole anti-nuclear movement's going on all across the United States. And this little boat was part of it. You know, and Commander Bigelow, when he's being tried, he told the court, he said, "What's there to be afraid of? 4 guys in a little wooden boat. What are you afraid of?" They have the Navy destroyers out there with their guns pointed at this little boat, you know, to arrest them with the Coast Guard. Anyway, years went by. This boat was found in my backyard, in Eureka. And people look at me and they go, "Oh, Freddie, you're that Vietnam guy, you're that combat guy, you race cars and motorcycles. What are you doing with a sailboat, for Christ's sake?" Well, I didn't choose this project. This project chose me. A friend of mine in Pittsburgh, some of you might know Sandy Kelson, an attorney, former board member, former president, called me up and he said, "Freddie, I heard about this boat. There's this story here by Lawrence Whitner. It says there's this boat in Eureka that's underwater, and it's a famous boat. Why don't you look into that? You know, you've got experience getting people together, so do something." So I'm thinking, am I getting challenged again? So I called up my friend Jim Shorter and I said, "Hey, could you look around and with the Veterans of Peace find this boat?" And he did. He found Chuck DeWitt, the member of the chapter, and found Nate, found all kinds of people that knew about this boat up there. So we started organizing the project. And so it started out as a Garberville Chapter 22 project. I have a list in there on the board of all the things we've done. And the reason I list them all and talk about them is to gain your confidence, to convince you, those that don't know me, that we can do this. It's not an impossible thing to restore a little bitty little wooden boat.
I'm going to talk a little bit about Bradley Manning, Army Private First Class. Before I do that, I'm going to show about 4 or 5 minutes of the video of Collateral Murder. And this is the video that basically got Bradley in trouble and probably sent him down a road looking for truth in his job as a military analyst. And so this is the video that probably led to his arrest in May. He took this video and showed it to his supervisors in the intel office at Camp Hammer in Iraq and said, "This is obviously wrong. Is somebody looking to investigate this?" And the supervisor told him to shut his mouth and get back to work. So yeah, and then the video starts with a group of about 12 to 20 people walking down the street. 2 of them were Reuters reporters. One of them had a large camera that was identified as an RPG by the helicopter crew of this video. There were 2 individuals that carried AK-47 weapons with that group, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're an insurgent, and they certainly weren't engaging U.S. troops. You can't walk around in Iraq without some kind of protection. And a Reuters camera team would hire local people to protect them from thugs and thieves and gunmen of the sort. So that's sort of the part of the lead-up. Right-wing people like to say, well, weapons were found. And yeah, 2 of these guys were carrying weapons, 2 of the dead. Obviously, they were not engaging U.S. forces. U.S. forces were nowhere in the area. And they probably had no idea that an Apache helicopter was hovering above them, maybe about nearly a mile in the sky. The Apaches are very good at stealth. The rotor blades are very stealth-like. So they probably never knew what was in the sky that was shooting at them. Bradley came to our attention when he was arrested on May 22nd in Iraq. It took about a week for people to learn about what had happened. And this was one of the chat logs released by the government's probably only witness against Bradley. His name is Adrian Lombo. He's a convicted computer hacker. He has a history of mental health issues. But apparently Bradley, Bradley was probably feeling isolated he was surrounded by people in Iraq, but yet nobody he could talk to. So apparently the story is that he engaged in online discussions with this Adrian Lombo guy, who came to Bradley and purported himself to be a Wired journalist, a journalist for Wired magazine, and promised Bradley that if he spoke to him about things, that he would be a protected source by this journalist. Adrian Lombo later released this chat log that purports to be Bradley speaking to him on internet chat. What is interesting is that it really does go directly to, and assuming this is true, it really does go directly to why Bradley Manning would have risked his life to provide the information, this video in particular, this video specifically, to WikiLeaks. Basically, we're led to believe that the first part is, he's seen public reaction to the video in the news media. He's inspired by that. But, quote, I want people to see the truth because without information you can now make informed decisions as a public. And I was actively involved in something that I was completely against. Many of us as Veterans for Peace, there was a moment where we realized that we were involved with something that we were completely against. Some of us, when we were still in the military, like myself and others here, and some of us had to get out for a while and get some distance from the military to come to that conclusion.
When nobody marches off to war,